Hello, here, Oscar Jim Daly. I bring you good tidings. Is Lagos State really a mega city? Is Lagos State a mega city? That is the argument that I brought today. There is no doubt that Lagos State is the biggest business hub in entire Nigeria. You can say in Africa, because I cannot see any city in Africa that competes with Lagos in terms of business and in terms of money being generated. So you cannot deny the fact that Lagos is big in terms of business. You know, the proximity and the way Lagos is centered, it makes it a very big city for business. As the former capital of Lagos, and it's a city that has the headquarters of the major multinationals in the country, a city that has an international airport, the busiest in the country, and the most functional seaport in the country. So these things makes Lagos a very huge city for business. So because of the way businesses are centered in Lagos, headquarters of multinationals, including banks, companies, Lagos generates huge amount of money that no state in Nigeria or any city in Africa can compete with the city. But Lagos cannot be said to be a, but IGR, internally generated revenue, is not a measure of development. It's not an index to measure development. It's not a metric. It's not up there in the top metrics of measuring development. To measure development is to rate the human index, human development index, human capital. That is the measure. So in measuring human capital, you will talk about education. What is the state of education in Lagos? What is the state of public schools in Lagos? When you go around Lagos State, you will see that public education is dead in Lagos State. You will see schools, public schools, dilapidated. So when you measure development, education is the number one. But education in Lagos State is nothing to write home about. It's very poor. After education, the next metric for measuring development is life expectancy. That is health. An average life expectancy of Nigeria is 54. It is even lower in Lagos. So what is the state of healthcare in Lagos State? Public healthcare, just like public education, is also very poor in Lagos. It's dead. People spend exorbitant prices for medical checkup in private hospitals in Lagos State because the public health care is very poor. It's nothing to write home about. So the number one metric for measuring development, education. Number two is health sector. These two metrics is very poor, very low in Lagos. The third one is human development index. How rich, how comfortable is the people? Can people afford basic things in life? Basic things like education, like healthcare. You know that majority of the people living in Lagos cannot afford good healthcare. You understand? So the human development index, the HDI, again, is very low. So if these three metrics of development is low in Lagos, you cannot call Lagos a developed city. Lagos can be mega in business. It can be mega in ITR, but it is not mega in development. There are no good roads in Lagos. People are stuck in traffic at least 3 hours, 4 hours every day of their life. You understand? So the stress level of the people living in Lagos is high. Can Lagos be compared, I mean, in terms of development with other major cities across Africa? Maybe say like Cape Town in South Africa or Johannesburg Can you compare Lagos with Cape Town? Can Lagos be compared with Kampala in Uganda in terms of development? Can it be compared to Nairobi in Kenya? Can it be compared with Kigali in Rwanda? Can it be compared with Addis Ababa in Ethiopia? What about Cairo, Egypt? What about Casablanca in Morocco? What about Tunis in Tunisia? Where does Lagos rank, in the midst of these cities in terms of development? So it is very embarrassing that Lagos is where the richest people in Nigeria resides. That is where the top celebrities in Nigeria resides. And we cannot even demand for a better living in Nigeria. Just look at the flooding. Take a look at the flooding that just happened, that is trending right now. One can argue that flood happens everywhere. It floods in Dubai, even in New York City, United States of America. But the question is, how often does it flood in these cities? We saw how when it flooded in Dubai, how they took care of it, and it does not happen in Dubai often. But each time it rains, people in Lekki must experience flooding. They must experience it. It happens frequently. So the drainage system in Lagos is very bad. The roads are very bad. So these are the things that brings about this flooding. Most people living in island in Lagos cannot even afford clean water to drink. There's no clean water in places like Lekki. There's no pipe-borne water. And this is 2024. Majority of the people living in island depend on pure water. They drink pure water. They use pure water to cook food. Some of them even use pure water to take their baths. That is a very low standard of living. And you cannot say that somebody living that kind of life is living in a developed city. So with all the metrics available, you cannot say that Lagos is a developed city. And it's embarrassing that we pride with Lagos, we brag with Lagos as a celebrity. If you're not living in Lagos, you are not regarded as a top celebrity. As somebody who has money, you must be living in Lagos for you to be regarded as a big man. It shows the quality of life Nigerians are comfortable with, and it's very appalling.